November day. We got a super fun video for you. We are going to talk about Millie, the Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon. And the reason we're going to talk about her is because everybody that comes to my kennel wants to talk about her. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Wire-Haired Pointing Griffons, you might look at her and think that she was a German Wire-Haired Pointer. See, this is a German Shorthaired Pointer behind her, but they're not the same dog, guys. Everybody that's come down here she's been here about 3 or 4 weeks, and everybody's come down here in the last 3 or 4 weeks, they see these German Shorthaired Pointers and they look at this dog and they say, well, is that a German Wire-Haired Pointer? And it's easy to understand because they kind of look the same. Now, as I'm saying that, I know that out there in the breed aficionado world, heads are exploding. I'm not in any way saying they're the same dogs. As a matter of fact, here, let me just jump to the description of the breed. And what I'm going to do, I have learned over time not to just make kind of random descriptions of breeds, because then people get mad and they like send you mean emails and stuff. So what I did was I went to the, what's that say there? American Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon Association of America website, and I printed off some stuff. Then I marked out the things that are hard to pronounce, because I'm not the best reader in the world. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Millie, a Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon, who is a close-up hunting dog, and we're going to compare her to a German Shorthaired Pointer. Not as hunting dogs, okay, because I'm not an expert on hunting dogs. I'm not an expert on Wire-Haired Pointing Griffons. I'm not really an expert on German Shorthaired Pointers. But I do train a lot of these various types of dogs to come when they're called, be still when they're told, to have good manners from your neighbor's perspective, to refrain from behavior that's dangerous, destructive, or rude. Okay, so like I have quite a bit of experience, you know, and people, for whatever reason, they want my opinion about the difference between these kinds of breeds. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read you a little bit, then I'm going to walk on the small challenges course, and we'll walk Millie, the Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon, and we'll walk Vinny, a German Shorthaired Pointer, and we'll walk Rojo, a German Shorthaired Pointer. Then we will go over to the farm, and I'll take Rojo, who's a 5-month-old GSP, and we'll take Millie, who is a 5-month-old WPG, and we will just let them roam and have a puppy-sized adventure. I won't talk much. I'll just let you guys compare and contrast their movement patterns, their endurance levels, their energy levels, their desire to explore and hunt, okay? And then you can kind of make up your own mind as to whether or not you want to investigate the breed farther. Okay, so one of the main differences you're going to notice from my perspective between a Griffon and a German Shorthair is, you notice how Vinny has bullied his way into being in front? That's kind of if you just like took these two dogs and you said, Stonnie, hey, what's the biggest difference between them? These guys are just a little bigger, a little stronger, a little bit more full of themselves. They have a little bit more resilient temperament. They range a little farther. They're a little faster, and they have a little bit more endurance. And I think that is a, I think that's a fair statement. Okay, so in any of these activities that we do around the kennel, it doesn't matter whether we're getting on the four-wheeler, we're getting on the boat, whatever it is, like Vinny or Rojo or Bullet, who was just here last week, they will like kind of bully this dog a little bit. I mean, not in a mean way. It's just that they push to the front, and these Griffons, they have a tendency to let other dogs push to the front. They're very sensitive. Okay, look here at them. Now, why people love these dogs is that they, like I said, they're a great, like kind of up close, versatile hunting dog, but they just really look cool, So if you think about like, I call them garden and gun dogs, right? If you ever picked up a copy of that magazine, Garden and Gun, this is the kind of dog that you're going to see. Be this dog, some fancy hunting boots, a fancy shotgun, a fancy fireplace, all that stuff. So guys, these are awesome, right? But since I don't know much about them, really, from an expert level, I'm going to read you some stuff. Okay, now, you got to bear with Uncle Stonnie. I ain't the best reader, and I'm getting old, so I got to get these glasses on. All right, so let me see if I can turn her just a little bit so you can see her, and I'll sit down here with her. All right, so it says, a Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon. They began in earnest in the Netherlands in 1873 by a young Dutch sportsman and avid hunter by the name of Eduard Courtals. Now, One of the things that you'll find just, you know, like kind of when you first start researching this breed is some websites will come up and they'll call these dogs like quartals, right? And I might be saying that wrong. Like, only thing I know about them is they're called Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon, but that's pretty interesting. There's a great website. I don't think I have that one out here, but it's like quartals pointing griffons, and that's super cool, you know? Okay, so this fellow was the son of a wealthy banker and cattle breeder in the Netherlands, and he wanted to create what he considered the ultimate walking hunter's gun dog, okay? Now, a lot of the time, these pointers, like guys would hunt like from horseback. All right, and so if you have a dog that ranges far enough for you to follow him around on a horse, well then that'd be a little too far for you to hunt with on foot, right? So you can see why they would have a dog that was maybe not quite as forward, you know, had a tendency to hang a little closer, a little bit of a tendency to be a little bit more biddable and to tire or fatigue a little sooner because, you know, you're gonna fatigue a little sooner than a high running dog. Okay, but now, here's what I really like about these descriptions that you get on these websites, okay? All the breed standards do it, but they sell their dogs well and they make you want to have a dog like this. So listen to this, this is so cool. The chief characteristics in which the Griffon excels and is superior over setters and pointers are his ready adaptability to all species of game, all climates, and all varieties of terrain. His exquisite nose, wonderful vitality and endurance, and the pronounced instinct which makes him the easiest of all dogs to train on game. As a retriever, he has, in my opinion, no superior, and being very intelligent and affectionate, he makes an ideal man's companion. I mean, look, that, you know me, I'm a lab guy, but when I read that, that kind of makes me, you know, want a Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon, because it's such a, I'm telling you, look at this. Look here, when you read all this stuff, then it's going to make you want one, okay? But is it for you? I don't know. Here, if we go on and go a little bit further, here's what it says. The Griffon is a very people-oriented dog known for its trainability and high degree of cooperation. Although the Griffon has a great love for the field and is an excellent swimmer, it is equally at home in the obedience and show ring. With its keen nose, it is also a natural at tracking. The fun-loving side of his personality enjoys agility training. The Griff's outgoing personality makes it a wonderful family pet and great with children. Overall, the Griffon is one of the best-kept secrets in the sporting group and is the ultimate versatile hunting companion. Not just a good one, okay? It's the ultimate. And how could you like read that the dog was the ultimate and not want one? You know, I mean, I don't know. Now, is that true? Are they really superior? Are they really the ultimate? I don't know, who am I to say, right? But I will tell you this, some breed clubs, they're a little optimistic with their descriptions of dogs, and I don't feel like that's true as it relates to the Wire-Haired Pointing Griffons. I think that that description I just read you, I think it's very, you know, very accurate, and I think a case can be made for everything that they said is true, okay? Now again, I'm not an expert, just telling you based on my own personal experience. So I'm gonna let a bunch of dogs out and we'll walk Millie and we'll walk Vinny and we'll walk Rojo just to demonstrate that these dogs all have mastered a basic vocabulary, a basic set of physical skills, are well socialized and are capable of paying attention under high levels of distraction. So I'm gonna go get those dogs right now. All right, so I let a ton of dogs out so I could make a simple point. If I'm gonna have a versatile dog, that dog needs to be versatile not only in terms of what it can hunt, but who it can get along with, you know? Like think about this, all the hunting dogs that people buy, you get to go hunting every once in a while, but you have to be around lots of kids and lots of people and lots of different environments, lots of other dogs, livestock, all that kind of stuff. So that's, to me, really the most important thing in the world. Like I always say, in terms of ranking dog skills in importance, my ranking kind of goes like this. My big three are come when you're called, be still when you're told, have good manners, under all levels of distraction, okay, and in all environments. So I need a dog that, like, you see where that little noodle is like trying to give Millie a hard time? I need a dog that can go out in public and put up with that, because there's lots of rude people and rude dogs in the public. Now, as we're walking these dogs, what we'll do is we'll walk Millie, and then we will walk Rojo, and we'll walk Vinny, and you can just kind of watch their movement patterns, okay? And you can just see little different things about them. Like watch as I come over here towards this boat. as I come over here towards this boat, you see how Rojo, he just run over there, he jumped in there. These field labs jumped in there. Vinny jumped right in the boat, okay? And look at Millie. Like, she'll get in there, but she's like, she doesn't want to get into this like big pressing mound of flesh that's jumped in there. So that's one of the things I'm telling you, you're really going to notice about these Griffons is that they're kind of a lot easier to manage, you know? Like these, like a field-bred lab, like Rojo's a high-running field-bred German Shorthaired Pointer. Listen, everything's 100 miles an hour. The way he gets in the truck, the way he gets out of the truck, just everything with him, you know. Now Millie can keep up with Rojo, and you'll see over there at the farm, but I don't have to worry about Millie hurting herself so much, you know. I don't have to worry about Millie knocking my daughter down. Like my daughter, sometimes she likes to like tie the dogs to her bicycle or something. Well, Millie's cool with that. Up, up, up. But we're just gonna walk my course, and I want you to kind of notice the movement patterns of the dog, how they approach negotiating the obstacles. Up, up. Wait, how sensitive they are to my inputs. And I don't think you're going to see a tremendous amount of difference, you know. Like if somebody calls me with a wire-haired pointing Griffon, I'm super happy to see that dog, just like I'm super happy to see a German Shorthaired Pointer. If I had to be honest, I would say that my labor inputs, you know, from a professional dog trainer standard, is a little bit lower with the Griffons because they're naturally a little bit more biddable. It's a little easier to tire them out. They get along a little better with the other dogs. They're not quite as high strung. But now on the flip side of that is if I need to get a lot of repetitions in on something, I normally can't get as many repetitions in with this type of dog as I can with Rojo. You know, and when I put Rojo on a leash, I'll hold him up on the table, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of what I consider a physical difference between the two dogs that accounts for kind of their difference in mannerisms and the way they negotiate various activities and environments. Come on, Millie. So you see Millie's kind of chill, and she did a good job of negotiating the course. See if I can get these guys down a little bit. Now see, look at these short hairs and these field labs. They're jumping right up in here all the time. Okay, so you can kind of see, can you see both of them there? I know, all dogs want to be labs. But, okay, so Vinny, come on, get up here. See if I can get Vinny to stand sideways. All right, can you kind of see them there, cameraman? See, I mean, they're kind of similar, and they act kind of similar. But these guys, like here, I'll walk Vinny next. Let's look at him a little bit. Now, Vinny's older, plus he's a boy, but I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Like these short hairs, they carry a lot of muscle mass. Got a big chest. Let me turn him around. Look at this. You talk about why a dog is springy. Like, look at that rump on him, you know? Got a big rump. There's a big runner. Okay, so we'll watch Vinny negotiate the small challenges course. Now, one of the things I run into with these strong short hairs a lot is I get a lot more leash pulling, you know. They just are always in a hurry to get where they're going, okay? But I'll have him go over here and jump in the boat. So you follow him, cameraman, and you guys watch how easy he just jumps right in that boat. Come on, Vinny. Up, 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 up. You know? And of course, that lab does the same thing. But like, look at him. He's just real strong. But even when we're doing the activities, notice his head's always up and out. He's always looking for a bird or looking for something to hunt. When we go over to the farm, I think one of the things that you'll notice is that Millie, like where these short hairs always seem to be going a little farther, like she'll spend a little bit more time smelling. And that kind of is a normal thing. Whenever we take Millie to the farm, her nose kind of hits the ground, and she spends a lot of time smelling stuff, you know. Wait, and so you can see Vinny's, I mean, he's being very cooperative, but his heart's not in it. You know what I'm saying? He's not super interested in like making me happy. This is just some chores that he has to do to be able to get to do the stuff that he wants to do. You see right here, he's starting to get a little bored, starts to pull. And I understand him. I mean, look how athletic that Vinny looks compared to Uncle Stonnie. You know? Like me going somewhere with these short hairs is like you when you were a little kid having to go somewhere with your grandparents, you know? It's like boring. Come on, Vinny, up, up. And you can see he's starting to lose attention just a little bit, and we run into that some. Now, part of it's understandable because this aggravating doodle here He's into everything. He's a good dog, but he thinks it's doodle time all the time. Good boy. Very nice. Easy. Okay, we'll put this dog up on the table, see if we can get him to stay, and then we'll walk Rojo. Okay, and then we will go over to the farm and just take a big walk and try to get a lot of different footage again, so you guys can kind of compare and contrast on your own. One of the things when you're watching dog breed videos is everybody talks so much that it can be hard to just get a little bit of information. Go that way. Just get a little bit of information concerning the dog. Stand up. So I'm gonna try to get him just so you can see him, so you can look at him. Pretty good looking dog, pretty nice dog. Good. Short hairs are good looking dogs, I mean, there's no doubt. But if you're gonna go on like a cool factor, those Griffons are just a little cooler looking. All right, Rojo, let's show them what you're up to. Come on, come on. Now, Rojo and Millie are about the same age. They're about 5 months old. And again, we'll kind of do the same thing here. I'll just walk him over here and have him jump in the boat. And I kind of want you guys just to see like how easily he's able to get in the boat. Come on, up, up. Very nice. Okay, and that's one of the things you're always going to notice with these short hairs is that they they're just super athletic. Oh, watch out, Kenai. You're athletic. Come on, come on. Very nice. Up, up, up. And the problem will get you, when you're working with them, is they're really athletic and they're pretty good at learning stuff, but people forget that they're bird dogs, and so when you're walking them, like people get disappointed because the dogs are always looking up and out, and maybe pulling on the leash or foraging or something. So if that kind of sensitivity or that kind of like bit ability is important to you, that wire-haired pointing Griffon is not going to push you the same level, With a short hair like Rojo, I'll get him over here on the table here in a second and show you how strong he is for his age. Listen, like he's a very forgiving mind, and so you can be pretty tough on him. You can ask a lot out of him if you want to, and it doesn't bother him. Like a dog like Millie, if you fuss at them, if you even fuss at a dog around them, then they get their feelings hurt, and they'll shut down for the whole rest of the day. Okay, so that's kind of a trend with these dogs. The short hairs are just always a little bit in front on everything, but that means that you gotta spend more time working with them. So like I'm getting the same compliance level out of Rojo at 5 months that I'm getting out of Millie at 5 months, but I've probably got a good come on, nerd, get over there, Dash. I've probably got a good I don't know, maybe 40% more work in with Rojo, right? So for every 100 minutes of training, right, with Rojo, I can get the same effect maybe in half that amount of time, right? So that's basically what I think you're going to see when we go to the farm, is that Rojo and Millie, they do about the same stuff, okay? And they look pretty much the same when they're moving. The big difference will be that Rojo will move a little faster for a little longer. He'll be a little bit more adventurous, but he's also going to be maybe a little bit more likely to get into stuff that he shouldn't, okay? And if you really put me on the spot as to which of these dogs was the better dog, I would say this. If I had a lot of time and a lot of open space, and a lot of like outdoor activities, whether that be hunting, hiking, boating, whatever, and I was really going to be a hard charger about it, then I would probably err on the side of a German Shorthaired Pointer. If lived in the suburbs or a semi-rural environment where I was going to get to go like hiking on the weekends or hunting every once in a while when I got some vacation days, and I wanted a really, really, really cool dog to take to a carpool line and to take to the soccer games, I personally would probably err on the side of getting a wire-haired pointing Griffon. That's just me. I mean, you can do what you want. Now we're going to head over to the farm, and we're just going to let you take a look and watch them and make your own decision to see if you want to investigate these breeds farther. Okay, now we're out on the farm for a big puppy adventure. I have Millie, the 5-month-old wire-haired pointing Griffon. Millie, come here. Let them see you. Okay, So this is Millie, and this is Rojo, 5-month-old German Shorthaired Pointer. And of course, you guys know Mr. No Name. He's my 1.5 years, maybe a little older lab. He's my mentor dog. He's kind of the guy that keeps everybody around when we're out here on the farm. So we've been kind of cruising out through these soybean fields and letting the dogs go on a little adventure. And now we're gonna go and walk down a little lane that I like. Now, a lot of times when you're out, especially with these bird dogs, they have a tendency to kind of get away from you, you know? So you can use your environment to your advantage. So when I'm working on recall with these young bird dogs like this, a lot of times I'll come over here and I'll use this lane because the lane allows me to have the dogs in a position where they can kind of adventure a little bit over onto the right side in the hedgerow and a little bit over on the left side in the hedgerow, and they can get off in the ditches and stuff. But when I call them and they pop back up onto the lane, it's a nice straight shot back to me. Okay, and remember, dog training is all about stacking successes. So we're just gonna kind of go down through here, and as we're walking, I'm not gonna work on much. Our puppy-sized adventures are basically for environmental socialization. So what we're after is the dogs learning by doing. We just want them to get out and experience a lot of sights and sounds and smells and textures. And we're gonna work on not getting too far away and coming back when we call, okay? So this is pretty simple. When we get into this lane, since it's so windy, you might not be able to hear everything I say, but just kind of keep your eye on these two dogs. That way you can compare what it's like to go out on an adventure with a 5-month-old Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon and a 5-month-old German Shorthaired Pointer. You might notice a few differences in terms of speed, athleticism, maybe in terms of boldness, but it's not going to be a lot, guys. So just kind of keep an eye on what these dogs are doing. Come on, Charlotte. Now, remember I was telling you like how I like the lane? Well, I've lost those dogs a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna whistle for them, and I'm hoping that they'll pop out onto this lane and then they'll be able to run right to me. See, there's one right there, look. So I've got Millie back. Now we have to find Rojo. Now, that's one of those things. See, Millie, she doesn't go quite as far as Rojo, and that's, I think, pretty typical for a difference between the breeds. Look, coming back here. I don't even know where Rojo was, but once he got back on the lane, you see he was drawing right to me. Always think about your environmental conditions, guys, because setting up your training session right is oftentimes going to determine whether you have a successful repetition or an unsuccessful repetition. And if you want a well-trained dogs, you have to stack those reps up every chance you get. So we're just going to kind of walk. And you'll notice that while we're walking, you know, the dogs are doing like what Rojo's doing. He's out here and he's like, hey, what's this grass taste like? What's that weed taste like? What's the deer poop taste like? You can't micromanage these dogs. If you fuss at them for everything that they get into, then what they'll do is they'll just want to go farther from you and get into more stuff where you can't see them or control them. Looky there, see her nose on the ground? I think she is tracking a deer. And a dead possum. You see this? You can't, don't try to follow a cameraman, but what Rojo just run up on was a butterfly. And you can go back and watch all of my short hair videos. There's nothing in the world that short hairs love more than butterflies. If there was a butterfly hunting season, they would be so happy. And so look, I'm gonna let them get up that lane a little ways again. Here, dogs! And call them back. Very nice, good dogs. I really want to make them understand that their freedom is tied to coming back. And so it's kind of like I call it a car wash analogy. If you've ever been to a car wash and you start hearing the noise, you have to start putting the quarters back in to get the car wash to stay going. Well, that's how I do these dogs. I bring them over here and I make them understand that like they have a certain amount of time to run. And then when I call them back with the whistle, they've got to come back over here and put a deposit back in the freedom machine, right? So their recall is the deposit in the freedom machine. They come back, they make their deposit, and then I let them go back and explore some more. Now right up here, we've got a fun little spot that they like to hang out. it's a ditch, and there's a culvert that runs underneath this little lane here, and the dogs like to get down in the water and go through the culvert. Now see, this is the kind of stuff, guys, that you got to get out and let your dogs understand about. This mud, you know, you can't just go do your training, and I say this in a lot of videos, but you can't just go do your training on the nice days and then expect to be able to go on vacation or go hunting or go to the park with your family and have a dog that performs in you know, adverse conditions. You have to get them out. Like today, it's very windy. The last time we were out here, it was rainy and cold. You know, you had to get out and experience all these different environments. So now here's that culvert I was telling you about. This is pretty cool. They like to get down in here. And I don't know if you'll be able to see what's going on here, but maybe I can kind of come down here and show you. So we have a drainage from a retaining pond right there. And then we've got water, and then there is a pipe that goes right down through there. Oh, and so let's see if we can talk No Name into going through there. Hey, No Name. Look, he's going to the other side now. If it was just a little warmer, I would go through that pipe on my own. What do you nerds think? Can you see that at all, cameraman? Oh, and then over here, if you back up and kind of look down through here, you can see that No Name, oh, has got himself over here in this side of this gully, and there's a lot of water and stuff. And so by No Name going down there, you're going to see this when we go back to the pond. By No Name going down there, it makes the other dogs want to come out and see what's going on. You can't see it right now, but Rojo has made it through this pipe, and he's thinking about coming out. Oh, see if I can get him. Just in case you didn't believe me. Here comes Rojo. Back up and show him. I sucked him through that pipe. Rojo, what are you doing, dude? Oh, you can get down in there. One of the things that you have to understand with dogs is they're not fragile, okay? All that nonsense about not taking them out, not exercising them, not letting them be around other dogs, not letting them go into new and novel situations, that's just complete bunk. It's complete nonsense. It's not good for dogs. It's not good for children. You know, children are resilient. Dogs are resilient. You have to get them out and put them in some adverse positions so that their bodies and their minds can learn to adapt. Isn't that right, Charlotte?
Millie went through the pipe.
Whoa!
Millie went through the pipe.
She did.
Yeah.
Hey, you think you can go through that pipe?
I don't really want to.
You don't want to? Okay. All right. Well, let's get going. Oh, so here's a cornfield. We'll walk over here for a second. Just kind of let them get. See, we were in the soybean field over there. Now we're in the cornfield. Just kind of let them get over here. Smell around. Walk in and out of the corn just a little bit. See, always encourage your dogs to interact with the environment as much as possible. If we just walk past the corn, well then I'm missing out on a very valuable experience. Okay. Now we don't want them in here knocking around and tearing stuff up, but as long as your dogs will come out and they'll be respectful and they're not knocking everything down, making a big mess, then whenever you go out into different environments, try to take advantage of every element that you have at your disposal. Look, these guys are still going 100 miles an hour. And so remember I was telling you, you know, kind of like generally speaking, the short hairs might be a little bigger running dog, right? But they're both capable of putting out a lot of energy for a pretty long time. Come on, dudes, come on. And if you're wondering who's making all that racket, that's, oh, jealous, that's Millie. Whoa! Listen, major key in the dog business. When you see dogs running your way, bend your knees, okay? That's how you get hurt. If a dog runs into you, you get stiff-legged like this, and they'll knock you off your feet. But if you bend your knees, you can kind of absorb it, or at least build a big frame, and so they don't hurt you so much. Now, No Name will probably be a little bit more excited because he knows what we're doing next. No Name's all about like coming over here and going down the lane and stuff, but he really, he really only likes that because it leads to going and getting in the pond. And so that's kind of the exact opposite with the short hairs that hang out with me. We come over here and they look at the pond as, okay, yeah, whatever. No Name's gonna go party in the pond, but when can we get out in the fields and the lanes, you know? So different types of dogs have different things that, you know, get them excited. And so No Name is really excited because he knows when we start heading this way, we're heading back towards the water. So again, as you're watching these dogs, just kind of keep an eye on them. And again, you know, look at their movement pattern. Look how responsive they are to me when I call. Look how they interact with Mr. No Name or how they interact with the environment. And then you can kind of draw your own conclusions as to the similarities or dissimilarities between the types of dogs. Now we've made it back over to the pond and Mr. No Name gets to do his favorite thing, which is to retrieve in the water. And while he's doing his favorite thing, he's going to be serving as an ace mentor, and hopefully he'll get this short hair and this wire-haired pointing Griffon into the water with him. All right, so let's see how that works out. We'll come over here and look at these two nerds. Like, there's the water, and you can see, watch where Mr. No Name heads. He's like looking at me, like wondering, is it time to get in the water yet? And then these two nerds over here, they're like wanting to chase things or smell things or investigate what's on dry land. So I'm gonna go with a double finger cross, and hopefully we can get both of these supposedly versatile hunting dogs into the water with Mr. No Name. Come on, dogs. Now they got the playing part down pat. Now we'll see if we can get them to get the swimming part down pat. So we're going to kind of walk over here to this little finger in the pond where it's pretty shallow, because it's hard to get dogs just to dive right off in the pond in the deep spots, especially when it's a little bit cold like today. But like we can get Mr. No Name over here moving around doing what he likes to do, then these two younger dogs will look at him and they'll go, well, what's No Name doing that's so fun? And they'll go to investigate. And probably what you'll see today is they get in the water and they make it out to about the point to where they start to float. And then they'll probably turn around. So anything I can get from either dog where they go out past the point where they're buoyant and have to actually swim, I'm going to consider a success. Come on, dogs. Come on, come on. Look at what Mr. No Name's doing. Now see, so here goes No Name, and you can see these two guys looking at him, you know, and they're like trying to figure out what he's doing, why he's doing that. They're trying to weigh how much fun that is versus the risk. Remember I talked about in the protection dog videos that dogs often get in conflicted states. So see, like right there, Millie wants to see what No Name's doing. She wants to know what he's doing. And she's trying to work her way out into the pond, but once she gets to the point to where she starts to become buoyant, it'll probably make her a little bit fearful, and most likely she'll turn around and come back. Yep, that's kind of what I figured. So what we're going to do is just kind of walk around over in this area and toss the dummy, and we'll probably do 5 or 8 repetitions, and more than likely what you'll see is if I can get No Name to work up close to the bank here, these dogs will follow him around. No Name. And there goes Rojo. Man, see, Rojo's interested. He wants to know what No Name's doing. He's like, hey, that looks kind of fun. But he doesn't know that it looks fun enough to get out there in that cold water. I'm going to bend down so my shadow's not in the way. Come on, No Name. Come on. Here, hand me that, dude. No Name doesn't even want to get out of the water. He's like, I'm standing in the water, Dad. Not believing that. No Name, back. And that'll happen to you sometimes, like I thought No Name was out there and I threw it right where he could see it, and then he missed it, of course. So then I had to turn around and tell him to go out there and get it. Don't be too hard on yourself, guys. You'll always mess these things up. Now, what I would normally do in this situation, if I have dogs that are a little bit hesitant about getting in the water, is I'd get out there in the water with them or use a long line. But I've got somebody coming to the kennel in just a few minutes, so I got to kind of get back over there. I can't get wet. Come on, No Name. So we're just going to walk around here and hope we make a little bit of progress. We don't have to make a ton of progress today. Oh, very good. And there goes Millie. She's out there. See, well, I'm in the shallow part of the pond where she doesn't really have to float too much. Very nice. And I'm not exactly working on retrieving, guys. What I'm working on is what's called environmental socialization. I'm just trying to get these dogs comfortable with the idea of going into the water. Today, I might only get, up to their chest. Now, if it was 85 degrees out here, they would probably already be swimming. But it's about, what is it, cameraman, 43? About 43 degrees. And you might say, well, Stonnie, 43 degrees doesn't seem that cold. It's not once they get used to it. But these puppies are young and they grew up in the summertime. And when you grow up in the summertime, you got to realize that first big drop in temperature, come on in. Come here, dude. That first big drop in temperature, it's pretty severe. It went from 87 degrees to 47 or 83 to 43 or whatever. It's a 40-degree drop. Now see, I'm just kind of walking around out here. And as I walk the edge, the dogs are making a little bit of effort to get over there in the shallow part. They want to see what No Name's doing. Again, we get back to this conflicted state where, you see, they want to go in there. They just don't want to pay the price of getting in the cold water. You see that? See how Millie, she walked in and she walks her way back out? Back on up there a little bit, cameraman. Very good. All right, so we'll make Mr. No Name stay, and we'll give Rojo a little shot at going and getting this. You stay there, dude. Now, sometimes Mr. No Name, he kind of big brothers these dogs, and so like if he's doing all the retrieving, then they get a little bit intimidated, and they're afraid to do it themselves. Oh, but like right there, you saw I made Mr. No Name sit. And Rojo went out there and got it, so I got a good successful repetition. I'll try that one more time. Now this is a little bit more of what you might expect, Like even though the Wire-Haired Pointing Griffon has a better coat for this type of activity, the short hairs maybe are a little bit more hard charging, and so like it kind of works itself out in these cold weather conditions. Let's see, if I hold Rojo and throw it for Millie, like she's going to go out there and look at it. I didn't throw it very far because I just wanted to give her a chance. And look at Rojo. He's like, hey, I want to go get that. And here's Millie. Where are you going, Fancy? So of course Millie, she took off with my dummy. Okay, now we're going to give Rojo one more little toss. Tried to throw it out there where it's not very far. He should be able to walk over there and get it and just kind of get to the point where he starts to become buoyant and then turn around and bring that back. If he gets that, this is going to make this session. Come on, Rojo. Come on, come on. Oh my gosh. Rojo. Rojo, come here. Oh. Well, that's what happens, guys, when you're making dog videos. Somebody comes by with a wagon. All right, we'll try this one more time. All right, so listen, this farm has turned into traffic central. There's trucks, wagons, and tractors all going by, and it's really hard on my dog training. But we're going to give Rojo one more toss. I was actually only kind of really hoping that Rojo would just get in the water today, and he showed a little bit of an inclination to fetch. So he did one good retrieve, maybe two, I can't remember, and then the tractor started coming. So we're going to try to get one more. I'm going to toss it, not too far. Just out there far enough where he's got to kind of just get a little bit buoyant, but his feet can still touch the ground. Good boy, Rojo. And if he brings that back to me, oh my gosh. I'm going to call that a super duper win, and I'm going to attribute that win to that double finger cross that I did over there when we first got back to the pond. So Millie took my retrieving item earlier and run off with it, but we're going to try to give her another little chance. Come on, nerd. Just going to toss the dummy out there in the water just a little ways. See what she does. Yeah, so she pawed at it. She's trying to pick it up. Good girl, Millie. Oh my gosh, maybe if I call her a little bit more. Oh, you're a good dog, Millie. Now look, she's going to take it and go away. Look. Now this is kind of typical. Hey, Millie, come on. Oh, that's not cool. Millie got out in the water and she grabbed the retrieving item, then she ran off with it. Okay, so that's okay. We're still going to count that as a win because all we were really trying to do is get her, get the dogs in the water today. But we would like to, since she's halfway there, we would like to go ahead and see if we can't get one successful retrieve. Hey, Millie. So I'm gonna get her over here, kind of tease her a bit, toss it out in the shallow water. Let her go out there. You see she's gonna be a little bit tentative, paw at it a little bit. Here she is, she's got it in her mouth. Maybe if I whistle, I can get her to come right back to me. Oh, well, listen, she started to run away and I whistled at her and she kind of stopped and dropped the dummy. Hey, that's pretty good. And ideally, I should stop on that repetition, okay? But we're gonna try it just one more time. I'm gonna have my whistle ready. She's pawing at it again. She's just taking her time. She's such a lady, you know. I think she thinks she has thumbs, but she doesn't have any thumbs. She's gonna have to get it in her mouth. Oh, good girl, Millie, come on. You can do it. Very nice. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? That is so awesome, guys. I didn't expect anything except getting feet in the water, and I got retrieving from both Millie and from Rojo. This has been an awesome day. Well, that kind of sums up what I know about German Shorthaired Pointers and Wire-Haired Pointing Griffons. So I showed you they can both come and be still and have good manners. They can both be in an open air environment and refrain from doing things that are particularly dangerous, destructive, or rude. They easily master a vocabulary and exercise small challenges course at my kennel. When you watched them run and play, Millie was able to keep up with Rojo pretty much the whole time, and we've done quite a big walk out here. When it comes to getting in the water, even though Millie maybe has a little, maybe theoretically a little better coat for being out in the cold and stuff, Rojo has a little bit of superior drive. Now he is a boy, so maybe that makes a difference. So kind of watch that for yourself. Watch the walking, watch the way they, like took to getting in the water. And then if one of those two types of dogs interest you further, go to their breed websites and go to their forums, talk about them, go visit them, and look, I wish you all the best luck in the world. That all dogs want to be labs and all labs want to be black. No substitute for a black Labrador Retriever.